The wine burned more than it should have. Cabernet, if I recall. Dry, acidic, sharp as the smirk on her mother's face. "That's to disinfect a poor man," she said, voice crisp with old money venom. The glass hit my cheek, not hard, but deliberate, calculated. My wife laughed. She laughed. I turned to her slowly, wiping crimson from my face. She didn't even flinch, just adjusted her dress, legs crossed like a serpent coiled for leisure. "Her monthly expense is $140,000, her mother added with a sneer. I smiled. Just a twitch, mechanical. Then I leaned forward and whispered it across the table. "I'm canceling all business with your company." The room hushed. Forks paused mid-air. Eyes blinked too slowly. No one spoke. That's the thing about a power play. It only works when you don't warn them. I should have known it wasn't love. Not really. Not the kind that wraps you in warmth. Hers was something colder, transactional, precise. She moved into my life like a trained thief. Every gesture choreographed, every kiss a performance. But I wanted to believe. So I let myself drown in it. The curated chaos of dinners, the hand-picked friends, the way she always smelled expensive and unreachable. Then the messages started. Late night. A name I didn't recognize. No last name. At first I ignored it. Then she laughed again, this time at nothing, alone in our kitchen, wine glass in hand. That same laugh she used at the dinner. It echoed. Something broke then. Not loud, a hairline fracture. But fractures spread. I didn't confront her. I'm not the kind who yells or cries or begs. I listen. I collect. I calculate. Her iCloud was sloppy. The synced iPad in my study held more truth than her vows ever did. A photo, blurred, taken from the side. A man's hand resting on her thigh in the back of a Bentley. Not mine. I memorized the watch on his wrist. Platinum Patek. Limited edition. Retail, $380,000. My wife's taste. The next morning I asked if she wanted breakfast. She smiled, kissed my cheek, said, "You're sweet." I nodded. She had no idea I'd ordered a full financial audit of her family's company that same week. No idea that I'd taken hair strands from her brush and sent them for DNA testing. One labeled mine, the other labeled control. The control was from a child. Our child. Supposedly. I told her I had a late meeting. She didn't ask with whom. She never asked anymore. That night I sat in my car across from her yoga studio. She didn't go inside. She got into a black Bentley. With him. The DNA results came in a plain envelope. No drama, no declaration. Just numbers, ratios, conclusions. Probability of paternity? 0.0%. I stared at that decimal point longer than I should have. She walked into the kitchen while I read it. "I bought that Riesling you like," she said, placing the bottle on the counter. I handed her the envelope. Didn't speak, didn't blink. She opened it, skimmed, stopped. Her eyes twitched. Just once. Then she looked up at me, lips parting. I walked past her, grabbed my keys, my jacket. "Where are you going?" I didn't answer. I didn't need to. Let her sit with that silence. It said everything her words never could. 3 days later, I sat across from her father in his oak-paneled office. "Disappointed to hear you're pulling out," he said, feigning concern. I placed a folder on the table. Inside, proof of fund misappropriation, offshore accounts, inflated invoices. Months of rot disguised as growth. "My legal team has enough to bury your board," I said, tone even. He paled. "I can destroy you quietly. Or publicly." He opened his mouth. I raised a finger. "But the deal's dead. Permanently." As I stood to leave, the door behind me burst open. Her. She looked different. No makeup, hair tied back, a desperation I'd never seen before. "You're going to ruin everything!" I tilted my head. "Correction," I said. "You already did." Then I walked away. No look back. No farewell. The sound of her mother screaming in the hallway as the SEC walked in, that was just background noise. I moved out without ceremony, left the house key on the marble counter beside a bottle of untouched Riesling. No note, no message, just absence. She tried to call, once, then never again. The company crumbled under investigation. Her father resigned. Her mother sold the summer home to cover legal fees. I watched it all unfold on mute. Sometimes I replay that dinner in my mind. The wine, the laughter, the smug smile behind a $140,000 lie. Funny how people think power comes from wealth. It doesn't. Power comes from silence, from patience, from letting someone hang themselves with the very rope they thought you'd beg to hold. And me? I never begged. I just waited. And now, she's the one choking.